If you're looking for professional day trading education, a high-level trade analysis, and dissection, you have come to the right place. My name is Pat Mitchell. I've been a professional day trader for the past 11 years, and I'm here to bring you exactly that. High-level professional day trading education, all here for free on YouTube and on X. And tonight, we're going to be going over 3 specific trades. I'm going to talk about the hows, the whys. There's going to be some really good lessons trading in this specific market, which is a fairly irrational market. We are continuously gapping up, and it is quite extended in everyone's mind. So it becomes a little irrational. So let's get into it. Let's dive right into this, folks. I hope you all had a wonderful day. I certainly did. It was a good day today. Let's do this. Okay, give me one quick sec. I just got to get rid of that. Okay, yo, folks. Okay, let's get into this. So we're going to go over these trades. For those of you that are just joining us, maybe this is the first time that you are seeing this channel. These blue levels represent levels that are struck, technical levels that are struck 30 minutes prior to the market open. And that's important. Nothing is after the fact here. It's always before 30 minutes. And then that's where I go over the trade plans. I design trade plans with contingency plans, meaning even if the plan doesn't work, I give a way to manage that position out. So then you can either minimize damage, because let's face it, not all trades work, or you can manage it back to a green and winning trade. So that's the lowdown with these blue levels. So let's talk about today's action. So I'm going to zoom out on the left-hand chart on SPY. These left-hand blue charts, these are the daily charts. Each candle represents one full day's worth of action. And you can tell that we are quite extended. We are extended. We're very high up. The market is very irrational right now, especially for how, economy and everything else is doing. It's been like that for years. It's been pretty irrational. But right now, it's been cruising on up and even though it looks like it's about to pull back. So this day here on September 10th, and then especially this day here on last Friday, where a lot of people were holding over the weekend looking for that gap down short. It didn't happen. They got caught off guard, squeezed out, and continued up. Now today we gapped up yet again and pretty much immediately sold off. Now, what's really interesting about this action on the charts here today is it looks like it just kind of sold off and it was all good. It was actually quite stiff action. So what we were looking for was originally, I'm going to show you what I wanted. I really wanted the short on SPY. And if it came up into pre-market highs, I would be all over it. Now, I even had a plan just in case it didn't quite make it up there. Now, that's not what happened here. We didn't get enough. Qs didn't give us enough into that short trigger as well, but that's okay, because for every short, so if it is going to sell off, we're going to sell off into an area to go long. And that was the first trade. And I made it really clear that we don't want to be using a lot of size in this long trade because of the high odds probability of it failing, just simply because of the daily chart. A daily chart tells us a lot. And just because we gapped up doesn't mean it's strong. A lot of people make that big mistake. But regardless of, what we may think, if there is a support level and we come down with speed and distance into that level, we will execute that trade. And certainly that's what we did. Now, one could make the argument that the trade didn't work. Well, the P&L that is here and the entries and exits would state otherwise. If you know that there is a high probability of this level not holding, that tells you that your hold time in this should not be very long. And you should be looking for a target right into the first level of resistance. Now, the first level of resistance on this one is right there, right at that little low from pre-market. That's the first area where it can come up and basically bump its head. So that's going to be my target. Now, there's not a lot of meat on the bone on that trade, but regardless, even with small size, because I was trading with my live trading members in my momentum program, where we work on really specific kind of hyper-focused trade plans and learning or teachable moments in trades, we're looking for very specific things. And that's what we did. So we entered into that trade, paid ourselves, and then normally we would add upon a retest. But again, because of the nature of this daily chart, I'm not looking to enter in a second time. It is a single entry only, and you can hold a few to see where it wants to go. Now, that's what these exits are here. That's my last remaining position. And then I simply stopped out. So even on very small size on this, I locked in $117. And that size that each and every one of you could use very, very easily. And it just goes to show that even on a small trade, taking small size with not a lot of follow through, you're still able to basically lock in and you can help pay your bills on the day very easily. So then once this level fails, it kind of tells us a story. Okay. It tells us a story that we are in fact weak, which was more so what we were projecting on the day, that it was going to be a weak day. So once it fails, there is an opportunity to go short. So we'll actually cover this here in a second. Let's go over to SPY first. So SPY, I'm going to zoom in on this chart because this was more of a very clear cut type of trade. And it was part of the contingency plan or secondary opportunity. If we sell off and we break, there's an area of opportunity to get involved with that short. So once it breaks that level, if it comes up, when it comes up to retest, you can simply execute that trade. Now I got an execution there and an execution there. And then what looked, and it was literally about to fly out of my mouth. What it looked like market makers were doing and institutions were doing, they were basically hunting a stop. What it looked like to me, and it's kind of difficult to explain, and it would be a long-winded explanation, so I won't do that to you guys. But what it did look like is someone had a stop set, so a hard stop set, and then they kept taking it off, and they were trying to hunt him. They were trying to stop this guy out because there was a lot of volume there. And that's exactly finally what happened, because this snapped down very, very quickly. Now, it could be that, or it could be just general stops getting blown off. I'm not saying I'm 100% right with that, but that's definitely the way it was looking. So anyways, got a really nice resolution on that trade and simply worked it all the way up. Again, taking small size in this trade. It wasn't a big size trade at all, and still locked in just under $1,000 on that. So quite happy with that. Now let's go over to Qs, the secondary trade on Qs. So that was taken. One sec, I gotta get rid of that. Move in and zoom in on this. One sec. Okay, so on this here, when we failed, so we failed that level, right? So there is a hard level there, technical level. It failed that level. As it comes up, it came right into my starter position, which is right there. So there is a level of support where Qs was bottoming for a few minutes. That's support. Now it's going to test as resistance. I start in there looking to add into that level. Now, I didn't get that add because, simply put, it came and it bumped its head into the first level of resistance there. So executed that trade, got some really nice follow through. And then basically that was it. Stopped out on the rest. I was holding really small at that point and still locked in an additional $544. So even though I traded very small today, what I normally trade, because I do trade small on Tuesdays, so that members have a chance to follow along a little bit better with size that they would take, it still ended up being like $1,600 on the day, which is more than enough to pay your bills. So it just goes to show, when you are focused on the proper opportunities, high potential opportunities, where you're not looking for much, you're just looking for a trade with potential, and a potential into the first support or resistance area. You're not looking for any more, which you shouldn't be when you're trading a market exactly like this. There's lots of ways for you to get stopped out in these positions and get completely throttled. So it's always, the professional trader will always take the mindset that I will sacrifice P&L, and I will sacrifice making huge money on days like today for the sake of still executing those opportunities and lowering my risk. And that's all there is to it. Risk is the only thing that we can control as traders, guys. There's nothing else you can control. There's nothing. So if we know that there are certain days that do have elevated risk, and when there is elevated risk, you size down and you don't hold as long. It's all kind of really simple, logical stuff if you really think about it. A lot of people make day trading into be something that it isn't. You hear countless times. You hear everybody say how hard day trading is. And I'm not saying that it's easy, but what I'm saying is people make it hard on themselves due to greed and emotion, but mainly greed. And that's all it is. If you can eliminate that greed and you just simply trade to trade well, right? To trade properly, to trade professionally, you'll have a lot less fucking issues in your life and your trading. So why not just take it nice and easy, do things right, and start actually making money? That's the only way you're going to make money in this market. Instead of trying to always push it and you're trying to make money. And that's all people think about. I see all these jokers on social media. That's all they talk about is just like, how much money they made, but they never talk about how well that trade was actually traded. And that tells me it's only a matter of time before they blow up. I've seen a lot of people through the years make literally millions of dollars. And where are they? They're fucking nowhere to be found, man, because they could never get their greed and risk under control. I mean, there's lots of people out there, and they always come up with excuses like, oh, I've started another business and I'm going to focus on that. It's like, well, you can easily, once you become a professional trader, if you are what you say you are, there's no reason why you can't even just hit a quick 15 minutes in the morning and lock in thousands of dollars. There's nothing easier in life than that. There just isn't. Once you have this under control and you know what you're doing, you have your emotions under control, you have your strategy in check, you have all of those puzzle pieces put together. This is like shooting fish in a barrel. I'll do this till the day I fucking die. No matter what I'm doing, even if I'm not necessarily trading full time anymore, I'm still going to come in, make a shitload of money and walk away. Why wouldn't I? Anyone that says otherwise, they're so full of shit. It's because they didn't have the chops to actually do it. And I've seen that so many times. And it always boils down to that one thing. The one thing is very, it's simple to point out. It's simply they're fucking greedy. That's it. They could never get that in check. So if you can get that in check, this shit becomes easy, guys. It really does. So allow it to be easy. It's up to you. It's a choice, right? And if you don't know how to execute these trades and you don't know how to make it easy on yourself, come to tricktrades.com. It's a simple fix, guys. Why would you continuously want to circle jerk yourself and like blow up, refund your account, blow up, refund your account? It's incredible the lengths at which day traders go to make it difficult on themselves. So like I said, come to tricktrades.com. If not, enjoy the free stuff. That's why I've got it. There's 1,000 free videos for you here of just mine on YouTube that are high-level professional day trading education. But it's going to fucking take you a whole hell of a lot longer. But that's up to you. That's not up to me. So have a good one, guys. And I'm going to see you bright and early in the morning to members. Hopefully see some new faces there. And if not, I'll see the rest of you tomorrow evening. Adios. Later, guys.